What is up, everybody? This is FNH News Reviews and Tours here with a brand new video to talk about when should you start investing. And this video is going to be something interesting. I have a perception, an idea, and not an idea, more of a thought that I want to let you guys know about when you should start investing. And this is more of a fact of an age versus money and a few other little factors. Like both of them combined mostly would be the two biggest factors. So I'm going to Google right with you in Google itself and see what it says. And we're gonna go from there. I have a feeling I'm gonna know what type of article is gonna come up. We're gonna go with the first one. And I did not search it, by the way, but I have a feeling because majority of the articles I have read these a lot of them already, so it may be something I've read. But most of them agree with my thought process to a certain degree. So when should that's good a W2. When should you have a baby shower? That's also a thing. Start tummy time. I have no clue what that is. Investing. That is what we're going for. So, oh nice. I like Fool.com. We're gonna go with their article. What is the best age to start investing? Which is most likely what is going to be the title of this video. Either that or when is the best time to start investing. Or it could be both. We'll see which clickbait works. So, that's a joke, guys. So, just to get into the video itself on how it says. I like this article. Let's cut to the chase. I actually have not read this one. All your high interest credit cards that has been paid off. You've built an emergency fund to provide a minimum of 3 months basic income should you lose your job. You know what? I actually agree. I highly agree with those 2 points. I highly agree with those 2 points. Now, I'm going to get right into my thoughts and opinions on when you should start investing. I'm going to give a personal experience first, and then I'm going to say what you should do. I'm fairly young, mid-20s, not too old. Doing fairly well on a couple of real estate properties and whatnot. What's it called? Fully paid off, so no debt in those sense either, no mortgage and whatnot. I know different video, different thoughts, different process. We'll talk about those later. But just to let you know, like, why I'm making this video. If I could go back 10 years, meaning my teens, I would actually tell myself, with the exception of Bitcoin, I would tell myself, hey, start investing. Start investing in stocks, mutual funds, REITs, freaking index funds if possible, anything. Start investing in something. And the reason I say this is when you're in your high school age, and again, with the exception of how to open up an account under 18 and whatnot, that's a different issue. High school to college, I would recommend it only because you're not gonna regret it. You're not gonna regret it because you will, even after you look at it from like a 10-year perspective, 20 years, you're gonna be like, holy crap, I made one of the best decisions in my life. Because that wealth grows significantly. That wealth just keeps compounding and growing and keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially if it's something like dividend related where you have like reinvestment set up. You will get shocked and surprised how much it can grow significantly. Because I know when you're like in that age group, especially like high school to college, you're either confused about life or you just want to spend money. I would say, like, just if you ever, again, this is not for everyone. If you don't care about making money, or if you don't want to like grow, be financially independent, whether that means being able to live very normal, simple, basic life, or the luxurious, insane life, wouldn't recommend the second one. But again, if that's you, that's perfectly fine. This is one of those things that will help you. And my suggestion would be to start at this age, as I said, like around the high school, near senior-ish, junior high, senior-ish, college age, freshman, straight up. Like, start learning about it. Make the mistakes if you have to. You don't have to go crazy. Because when I was in college, I started in college. I wish I started in high school. I just didn't know anything about it. But I started in college, and I started my freshman year. And the thing is, I started, I went a little too much because I started with penny stocks. Don't ask me why. And I just wanted to make like quick cash. Terrible mistake. Should have never did that. And I lost. I remember I spent. Back then, there was no Robinhood and whatnot. And again, I'm not that old, but there just was no Robinhood until like I think my senior year in college, probably, or maybe after I graduated. But there was no Robinhood. I tried E-Trade. It was a bit cheaper at that moment. I think it was like either $3 or $5 a trade. I remember it used to be $10 a trade. So every time you bought or sell, you lost a lot of money. And I'm like, yo, this is kind of sucky. I need my profit margins to be significantly larger. So I was like, penny stocks would be the best one to do, because if I buy something for $100, I'll get like a million penny stocks shares, and that will, if it goes up to like, I don't know, 100%, oh, I doubled my money, some crap like that. That's what I was always thinking in my head, and obviously that failed significantly. I lost my $100. You can probably see where that went. Didn't know how to do trend analysis. I didn't know how to do like stock analysis, projections, anything. I didn't know how to read a balance sheet. I did not know how to read an income statement. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know what a profit, earnings, like anything. I did not know what anything meant. Just thought penny stocks, read a couple websites. They said buy this stock, this, that. It's a rookie mistake. I made insane learning curves from there, but rookie mistake. Another plus side, not, it wasn't just always bad. Put another $100 in, I actually doubled my money. Same stupid mistakes, by the way. Got lucky. So I broke net even and I sold it, and I probably lost money in the sense of the commissions that I had to pay for the trade. Overall, money wise, like stock wise, I netted even. So I was like, whatever, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. Now, this is where I would say to you guys, if you want to play with it, definitely do that. Make that mistake, get that feel of that mistake in your body, and once you have that in there, learn from there, and then actually invest. Do some research and find out what you should invest in. I'm a very heavily real estate focused guy, so even like my stocks and like options that items that I buy, like funds and whatnot, I mostly go for REITs, and I do real estate. I'm very, very heavily real estate. I like physical stuff. So if I do go from like my portfolio, it's not too big in the like stock world. I'm more for a physical asset. But even if when I do go to the stock world, I stay within the real estate aspect of it. Dividends are high, profits are good. It's actually overall good. The returns are good. They actually end up doing really well. Yeah, they end up doing bad depending on like specific times of the market. Usually when there's like a recession and whatnot, I feel like everyone did terrible then. But after that, it was like perfect. Buy, and everyone did buy, and it was a perfect time to buy for especially real estate. Everything was dirt cheap. So I would obviously highly recommend going down that route if you have to or need to. But in general, to like speak from there, like the only reason I'm saying that, if you start building your wealth from there, from like the college side, even those 4 years you're in, and even if you're investing significantly little than you can imagine, and even if you have student loans, the thing is, once you come out, I wouldn't recommend this, but you would probably have enough cash to probably pay off a good chunk of your loan as well. Again, I wouldn't recommend selling it all to pay it off. It might be wise to get rid of your debt, which would go into point 1 and 2, because I never had student loan debt, so went to community college. Would not recommend going to like a private college for those. Another video to talk about, but different session, different issue. So I would highly recommend like going down this route as well. Like if you have that, sure, pay it off. I would probably recommend you to pay that off so you don't have to keep paying those interests. So you straight up pay it off in one shot, have all your debt paid off, so you're good on that. Again, wouldn't recommend it because I'd rather you build it up and not just have that type of debt in the first place. But again, I know there's certain situations, certain cases, certain scenarios where people do end up falling into that category, so they may have to, or may not like be in that situation. So I would probably say from the high school to the college age, because that starts building up and compounding from there. And once you see that and get the feel of it, you'll keep doing it. You'll turn it into a habit. And the earlier you start, the better you'll do. The earlier you can retire. So I would always recommend it in that sense and in that perspective, to go from there, build it up from there, keep building it up, increasing it every year. And I believe what is the rule? If you can save 30%, I know that some people do with 70%, but 30% of your income into that, you can like retire like significantly earlier, where people there's testimonials and like people showing themselves like with either through blogs or YouTube videos or channels and whatnot, where by the time they're 30, 35, they're retired, they're living fine. And one of the best examples I seen was, I didn't know about this rule. It was very intriguing because I always thought about it in the stock world. Again, I don't try to rely on that heavily. Again, more personally, either through real estate or business or like other factors that I rely on. But he was like, he has his fund build up, and some guys like, he was interviewing him. He's like, what if the stock market crashes, like a recession happens? He said the rule is, I only take, I forgot, either it was 2 or 3% a year. I sell 2 to 3% a year from my portfolio every single year, and from that, it's fine. Even if a recession happens, I'm still doing 3%. Even if it's the best, like my thing rose 100%, it's still 3% a year. If you go with that, and that 3%, let's say it's let's say the dude has 1 million, that's 30 grand a year. It's perfectly fine for him. He said that's enough for me to live a frugal life. And again, that's for some people, that's enough. That's what I said. It's from your perspective. If you want to live like a lavish life, you want to spend like 1 million a year, that's a lot. But for him, that was enough, because for him, the average rate of return with and without recessions altogether, his was, I believe, like 10 or 12%, and I believe the S&P was also 12%. I think the S&P averages 12% with everything. Like, it's been averaging 12% every year. So like, in that sense, he was like, it doesn't matter. I'll still take the 3%. Yeah, it tanked. That's perfectly fine. It's gonna go up again, and once it goes up, it'll historically, and it has average. It'll go up, and it'll be back to normal. It'll be enough for him. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't know about that specific type of strategy, and it works. There's all these different types of strategies that can end up working. And then again, I said a 30% example. People do 70%. People do 80%. Again, I know there's different scenarios. You could be living in New York City. Much, much, much harder. You can be in freaking San Fran. Probably worse. You could be in the middle of nowhere. Probably easier. Like, maybe, I don't want to say middle of nowhere, but like Buffalo, New York. You could probably be there. Cheaper, significantly cheaper in rent perspective. Lifestyle may not be as cheap, but still cheaper. You could probably save more of your money over there, and then go from there. Again, there's different places, different areas. I know everyone is unique. Everyone has a unique situation on how they are, but anyone can do it, especially now since it's so much easier to do. I made a video on M1 Finance. I'm going to start making videos every month on showing my progress on those, how I've been doing, how much I invest every month. I'm actually trying to go like a bit more heavier on that. There's also like Robinhood, the other friend on this channel I have. He'll probably make a video on that because he does it on Robinhood. He has like his own, he has a 401k stock. I don't have one. He'll probably make a video on that as well, so you guys can see from there like how he's growing his portfolio. And again, I have my like real estate portfolio, like physical, and I'll probably make videos on that, how I use those, what is in them, how I started, what I did, how I saved my income, how I went down that route. It's very interesting and fun, and I definitely want you guys to be a part of the journey and go from and see how it does. Obviously, if you have any suggestions, comments, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to obviously help. And there was a thing in the article I saw somewhere. Let me see if I can. Where? I don't know if it's yep. This is here. This is something that I wanted to show you, which is what I was talking about. And before I end the video, I just want to say this. If you invested, I was hoping there was something like this in there. If you invested $1,000 in Berkshire Hathaway back in 1964, I think that's when he founded the company, it would be worth $24 million. $24 million, dude. $24 million. But as you can see over here, there's very interesting things. However, over those 53 years of holding shares, 1/4 of that growth took place in just the past 14 months. 1/3 of that growth took place in just the past 2 years. Half of that growth occurred over the past 5 years. See, it's pretty. Oh, perfect. They showed the graph. Look at that. That's how it occurs. It's weird. It's very weird. If you look at majority of these companies, Amazon, same way. Apple, same way. I don't know about Microsoft. Probably not. Microsoft was a bit different. But all these companies, they end up doing that. Look how much you would have made. Again, that's a different time frame. People invest way more now. It's easier for the company to grow even more now because easier access to investments. A lot of millennials are on their apps. They want to invest, and they do invest, and they invest in certain types of stuff like cannabis stocks and whatnot. They do really good. Once that gets legalized in the U.S., you can see it just skyrocket. Again, I'm not recommending cannabis stocks. I'm just speaking in general. Those types of stuff help and work. And crypto, different story, different issue. We'll definitely talk about that, but a different video. But yeah, that's the power of compounding, and that's not even with dividend reinvestment. I don't think Berkshire offers dividend reinvestment. But look at that. That's pretty freaking cool, guys. That's pretty freaking impressive and cool. So I'm just gonna end off the video over here. When should you start investing? If you're in high school and college, go from it there. You should essentially have no debt. If you're a college student, you may, because of student loans, so you don't have to pay it off. So you have those 4 years to work your ass off, invest it, let it grow, and if you want, sell it after you get out to pay off your debt. That's one beautiful way to get rid of your student loan debt. If you don't have one, even better, just let it keep growing. Then when you get a legitimate job, shove majority, I would say 50+%. I do way more, but I would say that much into your portfolio, whether it's real estate, physical, or whether it's through stocks, funds, index funds, etc., Roth IRA, whatever the situation may be, whichever direction you're trying to go for. That if you're not, in those categories. Let's say you're a bit older, you're in my age group, you're older than my age group, within the 30s and 40s. Pay off your debt. Pay off all your credit card debt, all your higher interest earned debt. If you have a mortgage, that's a different issue, different video. If you don't have those, pay off all your high interest debt, because it's not worth saving or investing if your interest is like 20%, but you're only growing 10% a year. You're losing money. You're better off paying your debt first. And 3 month, definitely always have savings. Put it in a high interest earning savings account if you can. There's like Goldman Sachs and whatnot. I think Marcus, Capital One has a really good one. Don't put it like in Chase or Bank of America. I have Chase's crap. The interest, the bank's amazing. The interest account is crap. It's 0.001, I think, or 0.01. It's horrible. Doesn't even keep up with inflation. Just definitely do like the two as recommended. Might make a video on that to like discuss those as well. Definitely go down that route if need be, so you can like have it there, because God forbid anything happens, you have some sort of backup. So just ending the video there. Yeah, if you overall like the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. And on that, FNH out.